Yeah, everything that they did was pretty good. Let's see if they can actually keep this up on game 2. The draft is starting, and I think Universe has his hero. And it's going to be a Bat Rider first. This hero snips through.
Now, was
the
he 3-0 in that? Was it the Big God Secret series yesterday, where he was picked all 3 games? I believe.
Yes.
He lost 1 game.
He lost the 3rd game.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But he still had a huge impact, I believe, even when they ended up losing in that 3rd game. It's
Yeah,
a hero that I feel like as the tournament goes along, has just become more and more of a priority in the group stage.
Sorry to interrupt. Did it lose? They picked Void for offlane,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
that
it was the Shadow Fiend that was losing. Like Bat Rider was winning, Shadow Fiend
Bat
was
Rider
losing.
went 3-0.
Yeah,
Bat Rider went
okay.
3-0.
So
Yeah.
this goes to my point then, which is, as the tournament's gone along, Bat Rider's stock has been rising dramatically, going from a hero that's ignored in a lot of the drafts to first phase ban and pick.
Well, this is a hero in competitive Dota that has been staying up there for the longest. I don't think there's another hero that throughout the last 3 years was so consistently first pick, first ban material, even though he's got so many nerfs at some point.
he took a brief holiday. That's about it. Like there was like a brief 2-3 month period where he was ignored, but then after that he came back.
Yeah, I mean, he's been picked or banned 98.4%.
80.
98, I can't read.
89.
89.
So not quite in that vengeful spirit territory, I don't think, but it's less that like he was totally ignored and more like he'd maybe be banned 2nd phase or picked up later in the draft, but now he's like every game first phase pick or ban.
Yep, and Vici Gaming is going to reply with the Medusa. Now more of a black hero. He's going to be finding a little bit more farm here. You are like, LD, what do you think?
Well, I will say the last game he played Medusa, he was a really important part of their success. There were so many fights that in the series versus Secret where he would come to a fight and just always end up making the difference. Be the +1 that ends up securing them the fight. As I think Black played really well with his rotations on this hero more than anything, even though we don't really think about Medusa as that type of hero.
Yeah, and EG is going to secure the Earthshaker. That's probably going to be PPD's hero. Personally, I'm happy to see the Lion again. A hero that was completely ignored last game and has been one of the heroes of the tournament. The ability to just have 2 disables, so much burst damage at level 6, and just be a good all-around hero is something that we cannot overlook.
And I think if you're looking at Vici Gaming now, an absolute key part of the last game for Evil Geniuses was that they were completely able to shut down early roaming. The Vici Gaming supports were not able to accomplish anything, in part because of the living armor, and in part because of how the lanes were put. Now this time around they won't get Trian because they got Shaker, so I'm pretty sure there is no way they will get both. PPD plays both of the heroes exclusively for the team, no one else ever plays the other one. And Vici Gaming know this, so what they can plan for now is finding that dynamic roaming duo that we see FY and Fenrir extremely successful on. I want to say Lion is probably a better ganker early on than Rubik for the vast majority of setups. So if they get a secondary support that's good at roaming, I'm thinking about something like a potential Witch Doctor pick we've seen from them. Could think about the Sand King for FY if you want to run Fenrir on the Lion. There are possibilities here. And also want to mention the Medusa you guys talked about pretty much instantly putting Black on that. I'm not sure that's the plan. I think Super plays a really good Medusa mid too, and they don't have to do it that way.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely possible. The nice thing with the Medusa mid is it doesn't need all that much help. It's gankable, but very difficult to gank compared to, like, say, a Shadow Fiend.
The problem about Medusa is that we've seen in the actually it was the Vici Gaming versus Secret game. I think it was the Medusa versus the Tinker. No, it was the Secret game.
Yeah, RTZ was a Sumail.
RTZ was destroyed by Sumail.
Yeah.
And
No, Phoenix is incoming.
oh wow, okay. Silencer ban calls it.
Winter seeing the future again. They did leave the Invoker in the pool. That's kind of a go-to Sumail hero. Something that they might want to pick up to deal with this Medusa.
And that really hurts Medusa. And this is very smart from EG taking the Skywrath Mage here. Because they saw when they picked Phoenix, Vici Gaming immediately decided to take the support away. So they clearly recognize the value of this. Of course they know it themselves, but knowing that you're getting the hero that your opponent dread to get against their own Phoenix must feel good for EG.
The silence is just so good versus Phoenix.
Might actually force the Phoenix to alter item build, like maybe get a use just because of the silence.
Who do you think is going to be the fourth position? Because we're talking about Earthshaker being PPD's hero, but Are you gonna prioritize Skywrath Mage farm over Earthshaker?
They would actually prioritize the Skywrath. I've seen Aoi play the hero a few times, and even for Vici Gaming, when they have Skywrath and another hero like Earthshaker, they would also put FY on the Skywrath and prioritize farm.
Radovatos incoming.
Why not?
Radove UI.
Why not?
It's pretty good.
Trion is actually really good still. Bat Rider is fairly good against it with Firefly, but that's given that you can... So in the lane, for example, if you're playing Bat Rider against any hero that gets living armor, you can remove the living armor and then burn through afterwards. But when it comes to the initiation and the mid-game teamfights, Bat Rider will open by blink lassoing and pulling towards with Firefly, and then after that you can cast the living armor when the lasso ends. It's a really good way of securing Phoenix in the lane against the harassment of Shaker Skywrath, and also, I mean, in general, just a fairly good roaming partner with Lion, but
the one thing is,
do
it's
Vici
not really
ever play it?
Yeah, it's just, is it a Vici hero?
It's only more or less 2 players that actually play the hero at the moment. PPD and
Go
Go Black.
Yeah.
And even Godblack has not been picking it much.
Viper is a good hero versus Bat, however.
Yeah.
Also good versus Skywrath with the corrosive skin.
And I think this solidifies Black on the Medusa. It's going to probably be a Super Viper.
I'm still not sure.
You think it's
Put
going to
Viper
be
safe lane? I don't know.
Black Viper?
Yeah, they can
I
still
think
do that.
EG don't know.
Okay.
They can assume, but it's difficult at this point.
Both players can play both heroes and both can go to both lanes.
And
So it
team.
makes it hard to know for sure.
I feel like EG's draft looks more like a Vici draft and vice versa.
I imagine we see
Honestly.
this Invoker banned out last.
Are the team names the wrong way around?
It does. It does. Well, the Phoenix I view as more of a Vici hero.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, the
that
Invoker,
is Invoker,
I love
yes.
this ban from Vici.
Too much-
Anti-Mage plus Invoker, just too
much
good against
mana
Duso.
burn.
And there is no other hero that clearly provides the mana burn left. I think it's going to be interesting to see which mid hero. Storm Spirit is available.
They need a support,
I think
I think.
Oh, no, wait. No, they have the 2 support.
Oh,
You're
saying
talking Vici.
EG.
No, you're talking Vici. I'm talking EG,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying.
Well, what's Vici gonna do?
Vici, they need a secondary support.
You know, they used to run the support Phoenix, but I guess it's gonna be the offlane price Ice.
Well, it's an interesting idea to put Phoenix on support to avoid the issue with the offlane.
With the Skywrath pick, especially.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay.
going to be an FY Rubik.
again, FI Rubik. There's
Okay.
Blink, there's Fissure,
Lasso, maybe.
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 We saw it yesterday from, I believe it was Lanham.
Yeah.
The Fissure, the Bat Rider as he blinks in, then lift him, steal the Lasso, lasso him the other way.
That was so nice.
That was a nice play.
The other thing that comes to my mind with the Rubik pick, it actually opens up the possibility of the tri-lane with the Viper. So you want to contest the anti-mage lane and leave Phoenix 1v1 with someone on the safe lane.
And
That's a
then-
really good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Versus like the Bat
Yeah,
Rider.
because you have ISSR, you want to make use of his 1v1s. Like he's one of the best, like the best in 1v1 situations. So you might want to put him on that situation so you can actually get the most out of him.
And ultimately, in the dire offlane as Phoenix, Skywrath alone can keep you level 1
Yeah.
if they hold the lane perfectly.
That's why I was wondering if maybe they would run it even as a support to mix
Yeah.
things up, but doesn't seem to be the case.
We'll see. Sumail Hero is the one remaining. We can see Sumail here. He is very like,
Panda,
Pick me Tinker, pick me Tinker.
Tinker, Panda
It's a
are
Tinker.
two remaining heroes that he normally likes to play.
Yeah,
And he's going to do Brewmaster.
yeah, because they ban out the Bristleback as well before that, and they need tempo control. Like with anti-mage, you want 2 tempo controllers so he can farm the whole map. So Panda is something that fits the draft very well.
What do you think about, come mid-late game, Vici's solutions to AM? I feel like they don't really
They-
have anything else than Hex.
They have Hex, they have Mana Drain for the illusions, they have Rubik Lift.
It's just
not
they
great.
need to shut
No.
him
They
down.
don't have
They need to
damage.
shut him down in the lane.
They don't have damage
That's
to
why
kill him.
I-
I think the aggressive Trilon is the solution.
Yeah, based on the lane, the heroes, I think aggressive tri-lane is one of the best to deal damage to the economical state of the end.
Does Vici
anti-mage.
Gaming run offensive tri-lanes much?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Quite frequently. They're one of the teams that, I mean, in the last month, very few teams have been doing it at all. But Vici Gaming, one of the teams
Yeah,
that have
they-
a strong enough support duo to actually execute.
Yeah,
They have-
Hellraisers is the one
They
other
have
team that
2
really
melee
likes it.
heroes on the lane, so it's a very good situation for them to go aggressive on.
Anyways, the match is underway. It's going to be the second game of the grand finals of the Dota 2 Asia Championship. EG versus Vici Gaming. EG is leading 1-0, but the second game is going to be underway, and it's going to be casted by none other than David Godsparker and Ben Merliniwu. Guys, take it away.
Thank you for the introduction, Bruno. We've got ourselves here Game 2 of EG versus Vici Gaming, and somewhat surprisingly for a lot of people, EG, Ben, actually taking Game 1.
Yeah, I think that we realized their mistakes in the upper brackets. I mean, EG also beat them in the group stage, so I don't think it was that surprising, but still. Vici lead off with the Medusa in the first phase. We saw this earlier in the Ray versus IG, also attempted to counter by Anti-Mage, but the Medusa team actually ended up winning that, so we'll see if history repeats itself.
It seems to be like the new Anti-Mage versus Morphling. You go back to like your TI2, TI3 days, there was a lot of Anti-Mage versus Morphling games, and it seemed the carries didn't really match up such that one carry was better than the other. It came down more to the supporting cast and the space they created, so we'll see how things work in this game here. We'll introduce the two teams. On the Radiant side, it is Team Evil Geniuses, your American squad. PPD going to be playing the Earthshaker. We've got Universe on the offlane Batrider. Going to the mid lane will be Sumail on the Brewmaster, bottom lane AUI 2000, and Fear on the Anti-Mage top lane. Bit of a kerfuffle going down here as the Fissure block comes out. Black still going to secure the bounty rune. He's your Vici Gaming carry player, going to be on the Medusa. FY on the Rubik, boots first for him. Fenrir on the support Lion. Leaves Super playing the safe lane farming Viper, and finally Ice going to the offlane, boots first on the Phoenix.
So that was a nifty first bounty rune grab by Ice in the offlane, certainly will help him out, and it was debatable whether or not Vici would aggro try against the Anti-Mage, and it looks like that is actually not the case. So Anti-Mage will have his free reign of bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, so as far as the lanes go, EG going to be looking to zone out the Phoenix in the offlane. The offlane's going to be okay for EG as well, because Earthshaker already using one Fissure to pull the lane a bit further back, so the lanes seem pretty solid from EG.
Yeah, and Phoenix is getting owned. He doesn't have that much regen since he started off with boots level 1. He also doesn't have the spirits to trade harass with Aoi early, and it looks like a solo support may be enough to keep Phoenix at level 1.
What do you do in this situation? You're a Phoenix getting completely shut out of the lane.
Well, he actually has creep equilibrium is not working too much against him. They actually had 2 range built up at some point.
Fear even pulls it back to get his range creep destroyed here. So this lane unlikely to push out. Is Phoenix just stuck at his tower? Because he's not really a hero that can go to the jungle.
2. Once he gets level 2, he can actually trade harass with Aoi.
Yeah.
With the spirits.
So he's going to try and poke forward as much as possible to get that XP. Earthshaker is kind of also ventured down to the bottom lane, looking maybe for an early kill here.
It's not level 2 on Sky, so
Going to blink forward the Anti-Mage. They've got a Fissure, but not timed with the dive. It's hard. Fissure has a cast animation. Dive does not. So
that would have been really close. I mean, theoretically, he could Fissure as he's diving, and that would be like an easy first blood, but that is easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, the lanes will kind of unravel here. It looks like EG completely abandoning the off lane now. Batrider got an early kind of level 2 and will then swing into the jungle, start stacking, start pulling, and start doing, well, your normal Batrider things. Actually up to level 3 now, with Universe doing pretty decently here.
So Sky picks up Conk Shot at level 2, so really relying on PPD to stun during the dive if they're aiming for a kill. And Rubik accidentally aggro's a creep in mid too, so there goes some of his aggression.
Yeah, and taking the one illusion with him, so maybe just trying to play some mind games against EG, leaving one illusion top as far as where the real hero is. But Fear at bottom lane, he's farming absolutely fantastic, up to 15 CS, 2.5 minutes in. And Ice is actually going to kind of swing mid, just offer some support. They're going to start with the telekinesis, dive to follow, hit Sumail with the slow, and unexpected rotation from your Ice Phoenix and Sumail. Possibly going to give up first blood. The Phoenix Fire Spirit's chasing him perfectly, and Medusa gets the kill with the Mystic Snake.
A lot of that has to do with the ward on bottom. It didn't actually block the spawn, so EG doesn't know that there's a Berserker ward there, and they saw both of the supports there. So without a Fissure to interrupt their gank, it's an easy first blood for them.
It's the Ice special almost, just these unexpected rotations and just constant pressure. He doesn't really sit back and just try passively get farm, or unless he's in that 1v1 type matchup, which they sometimes do like to give him. But if he's offlane versatile, he's getting runes, he's pressuring the mid lane, and just trying to wreak havoc elsewhere on the map.
Anti-Mage is pretty good versus Medusa, but it does. If it's 6 slot versus 6 slot, I think Medusa should generally win that battle, but it does lend itself to outplay, and of course it highly depends on the supports. Like, can Shaker keep Medusa locked down so that Anti-Mage's illusions can stay alive to mana burn long enough, and of course Vici do have some counters to an Anti-Mage, I guess a little bit with a Hex. as they mentioned before, maybe like a Viper Strike constantly on the anti-mage too, if Super's able to get nice and farmed in an Ag Scepter.
And Rubik would love to steal something like a Fissure or an Ancient Seal for some extra lockdown for your anti-mage, but...
This haste on bottom is not spotted by Vici.
We'll see what AUI 2000 can do. It's only the 2-hero duo down here, so unlikely to be able to find a kill on on Ice 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 if he's kind of sitting at his tower, as he is right now, but... It's going to be a silence. Actually, they're actually going for this one. Fear not level 6, and Ice 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 will go down, so AUI 2000 catches him by surprise, and... Nice gank there coming out from EG.
That's a really difficult gank to avoid by Phoenix. He's like really close to his T1. He's like on the right side of the wave, but it being nighttime makes it a lot more difficult for him, and that is one of the downsides of having the Observer Ward.
Super gonna miss the last hit on the top tier 1 tower, but good to see something that Viper can't just sit top farmer. He needs to apply pressure. He wants to farm his fast mech and then kind of go around looking to take objectives and be the one kind of at the center of attention for EG. They want to create space for Medusa to farm.
Yeah, they definitely need him to... I mean, if nothing else, then, like, I guess die for Medusa a couple of times and commit a lot of resources from EG. I mean, ideally, he doesn't want to die, but he, as you said, he should get active, because if not, he's just going to get controlled by Brewmaster fights, just constant Cyclones, and after that, like, Drunken Haze, and without Scepter, his efficacy is going to be highly limited.
This is going to be one of the faster Blink Daggers we've seen all game. FY gets off the lip before the fissure comes out from PPD. Will still throw it, catches out to Super. Going to look to orb down PPD, and it is going to be a second kill going the way of Vici Gaming. They are kind of creating some space here. Universe, 1800 gold on Bat. This is going to be one of the faster Blink Daggers we've seen all tournament long.
Yeah, and a little unfortunate for him that he got some golems, so he's going to have to wait until next Firefly to get it, unless he gets a bounty rune. Actually, he has 2200 already.
He's going to be able to stack this big camp, it looks like, so that's going to be, well, pretty much the rest of his Blink Dagger, as well as a TP, maybe a Smoke. AUI even getting the double stack off, so nice stacking in the jungle. He's got 2 double stacks to work around, and well, that's going to be a lot of farm on your Bat Rider early on in this game.
This just makes team fights really easy for them. Vici only have, what, Stone Gaze and Phoenix Egg for team fight, but they can't really counter-initiate like a... Oh, the super diving PPD on top.
TP's coming in. EG want to kind of retaliate to this one, but the slow just coming out from the Drunken Haze. It looks like Super will be able to get back to safety. He goes for the Primal Split. No, he doesn't. Going to hold on to that one. Didn't have the mana for it after the clap, but...
It was too defensive of a TP.
Yeah.
He TP'd too close to the Radiant side.
Well, so far, EG at least done a pretty decent job keeping this Phoenix low level. AUI now almost level 5 with the help of that kind of neutral stack here. They're going to blink in, does get the dive off, and that's going to get him across the ravine back to safety there. If they get that Ancient Seal, it's almost a guaranteed kill with the help of the Mana Void.
Yeah, that's really close. Again, that's a difficult gank to dodge. It's nighttime, but his positioning was really, really good. So was Aui's, actually. But he knows as soon as anti-mage blinks in, the jig is up.
Well, here we go. Smoke mid lane. They want to get a kill on Black. They've got the Blink Lasso, and Black at 7 minutes. I don't think he's expecting a blink. Normally like 9-10 minutes is more accurate, but we are going to see the lasso come out, the clap to follow. Here comes Ice Ice Ice. He gets fissured from behind, does not have the supernova. Trying to Sunray and back up to full HP, but he gets Cyclone in the end. Nice micro coming out from your Sumail Brewmaster. And Super looking for the kill on PPD. The uphill miss going to save his life. In from the side comes your Fade Bolt on the Rubik, but it's a 2-for-1. Make it a 3-for-1 with Ice 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 going down. Absolutely fantastic play from EG in the mid lane. The blink timing from Batrider just setting all of that up.
It was the wrong hero sitting behind Black. I think they expected a gank, that's why Phoenix was sitting right there, but they didn't expect the Batrider blink, as you mentioned. And only Lion and Rubik can counter-initiate that. Maybe Phoenix with a ultimate, but he's not level 6 yet. And Ice Ice is doing what he can to salvage this early game for Vici Gaming.
It is a hero, though, that needs levels. And already, I don't think he wanted to put that point into Sunray so early, but thinking he could maybe save his ally and just help out his team there. But Phoenix, not level 6, isn't going to have much damage output with his nukes now with the extra point in Sunray. And this does kind of limit what he can do here in the first 10-15 minutes of the game.
And Batrider is just having the time of his life. 1400 gold after that. Man, once he gets a 4-step, it's really difficult to counter-initiate, even with a low cast point hero like Rubik.
Yep. Well, Rubik not going to have any kind of item progression anytime soon on his end, so we'll see what Vici Gaming look to do. They're going to bring some heroes down bottom lane. They're going to grouping up with the birded duo of the Viper and the Phoenix here.
Smoked Universe again.
Well, a lasso already back up. They want to go in on Super. They get the lasso to start things off and trying to blow up this Viper here. In comes your Phoenix, gets hit by that fissure. Really nice play from PPD and Ice, the Mana Void doing next to no damage to him, but doesn't matter. They get the 2 kills. PPD, the fissure hitting both heroes there. The Phoenix mid dive proving to be very valuable for EG.
And I think even if FY was in a good position there, they still would have lost that fight pretty heavily. And Viper doesn't have his mech. This is going really poorly for EG, or for Vici.
All their timings are just off. They don't have the Viper mech. They don't have their level 6 on their supports. Like they only just now got Lion up to level 6. He took the safe lane and was just trying to make sure they can get the Finger of Death in play. Because without that, they don't really have damage to get any kills. And even now, they're only going to be able to kind of go for a smoke gank or go for an objective maybe every couple of minutes when they have a Finger of Death available.
They don't have level 6 on Phoenix, I think, is a much bigger deal. And that's where like the solo Skywrath was just able to control him so darn hard. I think Universe actually has BOTs right now. 10-minute blink BOTs.
That's a scary thought, because his just global presence around the map is going to be something very threatening for Vici Gaming. They go in looking for fear here. They have got that Finger of Death here. The Phoenix X comes out, the Finger Impale. A much needed kill on the old man.
Yeah, that gets both the support, or Ice and FY, they're level 6s. And how is Black farming? He is actually not doing that well, but at the same time, Sumeo's actually struggling a little bit too. He's kind of at that weird place where he doesn't actually have enough gold for his Blink Dagger, and he can't really go into a fight without it. He's going to have to rely on Batrider again to initiate so that he can survive, get some more gold for a Blink, and then he can do the initiation.
And especially annoying because this is the time where you really kind of want your Brewmaster to be using the split when it's off cooldown, but we'll be forced to just take the safe lane, try to get his next item or two. But it seems the Viper's in a similar boat. He's in the safe lane just trying to complete his mech, and well, we'll see what the next move's going to be. So Universe, second fastest blink of the tournament. The fastest, I think, being yesterday's Zai, when he had the 1v1 matchup and got it in like 6.5 minutes, but that was a kind of special case where you have a solo 1v1 matchup. This was an offlane Batrider who transitioned into the jungle. So Vici Gaming expecting a gank on Black with that Blink Lasso, trying to bait with the supports behind him. No
they have a
Finger
ward
of
on the high
Death,
ground. The Universe is standing right on top of it, and he doesn't have a smoke this time.
well, they see him coming. Fenrir is waiting. Hex on the ready here. The Lasso instead goes to the other direction, goes onto Ice. He's got the Supernova, but gets silenced up. The Mystic Flare as well. Oh no, the execution there. Stolen Mystic Flare from FY. Takes down Earthshaker in return, but not the exchange they were hoping for Vici Gaming. They wanted the Blink Lasso on a Medusa, because Fenrir was smoked, ready with a Hex, Insta-Hex Universe.
I also think that that's not the spell he wanted to steal. Mystic Flare is good and all, but I think Fisher actually would have led to 2 kills there. It was pretty close.
Well, Fear now 11.5-minute Battle Fury up on your Anti-Mage. What have they... do you feel like they've got the answers to an Anti-Mage who's doing well this game with their lineup?
Not with the Underfarm Viper. And an Underfarm Viper is just not going to create any threat. And they're grouping up already, which is, I guess, pretty good for them since Brewmaster doesn't have Blink. Actually, he does have Blink right now.
Just picked it up.
So, I don't think so. Not right now, at least. Maybe their supports had a little bit more farm too, but they're not quite there in terms of their Blink Dagger timing. And Anti-Mage also doesn't have treads, so this Battle Fury is... it's okay.
This Dire Ward is paying for itself right now. Vici Gaming spotting out all the EG heroes on the high ground. They have Black in the front here, using this Medusa as an early game kind of tank in the front lines, hoping that the Medusa actually gets lassoed and initiated on, knowing that the kind of backup from behind the Medusa is going to do a lot to keep her alive. Even getting the early point booster on Black, this is something we've seen a lot from Sylar of LGD, where you just tank up as much as possible, and it's just very cost-effective HP, because extra mana is effectively also HP on a hero like Medusa.
Yeah, it makes things way easy for Anti-Mage, though. I like the point booster build in a lot of games, but it depends on what you think you're going to be dying to.
Yeah, against an Anti-Mage, maybe not your best bet, increasing that mana pool for the Mana Void. Oh. Super at the top lane, just kind of looking to hold the lines. Again, Vici Gaming just camping supports and camping the Phoenix behind targets who may be getting ganked here. And they're going to actually run right into Evil Geniuses here. FY sees the Batrider, but these two supports somewhat stranded. And FY and Fenrir, this is not really looking like a fight they want to take. I think EG are probably a bit more scared than they need to be, but at the same time, they don't know where Phoenix is. They don't know where the Medusa is as well.
So finally, they have the Viper mech, and this will actually make them decently impactful in fights, so that they can tank through Brewmaster ultimate. They can keep someone alive if someone else gets lassoed, or even if he gets lassoed. And we see some unusual item builds. Earthshaker with Tranquil, as opposed to Arcanes. That's, I guess it's kind of personal choice, depending on the game. Skywrath going for Treads. I think this Treads is pretty good, though. He doesn't necessarily need Arcane, because the fights are pretty much centered around like a universe lasso, and he can just dump his mana, especially against a hero like Viper, who you really do need some baseline of survivability against, and also as well as Phoenix. The extra attack speed certainly helps with trying to break the egg.
Yeah. It's just in general, the Skywrath is going to be able to do a lot more damage with his nukes and stay alive a bit longer with the Treads plus Null Talisman and Magic Wand that he's built. So, see the next move. Vici Gaming actually have decent gold on their line, more than halfway to his Blink Dagger. Actually, no, he's bought something coming out in the courier. Just some, actually, Bracer and Wards here. Not going to try and rush a Blink on your Lion. Normally, what you'd see is that Blink rush, but picking up some kind of supportive items for the team here.
It's really difficult for them to initiate with the Blink Hex, though, because if they Blink Hex and they counter with like a Lasso and or a Fissure, that Lion is almost certainly going to die. EG places a ward on the high ground.
Smokes for that ward even.
That's a very important ward at this point in the game.
Oh, he's going to walk right into Fenrir, though, if he's not careful.
Especially since they usually expect a Ancient stack, too. And PPD is not able to.
Seems they know where he is, but they're going to run right past an EG ward themselves, which they'll look to D-ward here on the high ground. So PPD realizes where Fenrir is. He may not realize that FY is there with him. Bottom lane, though, Super looking to do what Viper can do very well at this kind of 10 to 15 minute mark, which is just siege towers. And Viper, a hero that, as far as how he matches up against the Anti-Mage, I feel like he does pretty good with some farm, because he can tank up a lot, get the Ag Scepter to spam the Viper Strike a bit, and it's just a generally tanky hero that Anti-Mage doesn't ever really want to try and man-fight.
Yeah, it's really difficult, and on top of that, they have like a ton of attack speed slow between Corrosive and Phoenix, and Viper Strike, of course. So he's gonna have a hard time. He's going for a Vlad's early instead of a. I'm actually a little bit surprised that the Brewmaster's not going for a Vlad's instead. He'd actually have money for it right now. He bought a point booster instead. Does he really need a point booster when none of the supports have Blink yet? I think that he could have gotten away with getting the Vlad's instead and just super beefing Anti-Mage.
I guess it's going to come down to what like an Ags Brewmaster can do for you in this game. We don't see many Brewmaster players still going for the Ag Scepter. Sumail did do it in one of his recent games.
I think he went it later, though. I think like a Vlad's AC Scepter build is stronger overall. It just depends on when you want to hit your stride. Just because Anti-Mage is going to be
PG Gaming, they lift up Sumail in the air. Can they chain stun him down? He gets a stolen fish from FY. Echo Slam comes out of PPD. They kill off your Brewmaster. And the Supernova going to zone out PPD. Another dive will be up in a second if they can look to chase down more. FY is chasing. He wants to get PPD too far away. The Blinker with a lasso. FY gets caught in the Mystic Flare. And nothing they can do to keep him alive. PPD, the Tranquil Boots, I feel like they actually saved his life. Giving him that little bit of extra just movement speed and armor, and they kept him away from that Supernova, and Ice and FY just chasing too damn far.
That was so close. Brewmaster was, I think, like 3/4 of the way through his animation on Split, and that's where the point booster was like, oh my gosh, that almost paid for itself right there. Him getting that ultimate off in that fight, that would have been so big for them.
And that's the thing, if they don't blow up the Brewmaster there, I feel like EG win that fight 3-0, 4-0, something crazy, because Brewmaster just keeps all the heroes there, has the Cyclone, the Boulder Toss, and Vici Gaming would not have been able to run away very well. Maybe they could have just tried to use the Supernova to help cover their retreat, but...
Yeah, or Stone Gaze. They didn't actually use Stone Gaze that fight. So, yeah, not the worst thing in the world. That was a pretty darn good fissure by Earthshaker, too. Lion was unable to get the Hex on the Brewmaster, which is really what they wanted to follow up the lift with, but he was able to get the long-range finger on him to secure that kill.
Well, it is still Fear, top of the net worth chart by a good 2k net worth. He has not been dealt with at all. Battle Fury, Vlad's 1500 gold, farming Ancients, and not a hero you kind of envision Medusa catching up to anytime soon, just with the Anti-Mage, well, being an Anti-Mage.
Unless they had a lot of Ancient stacks, but those supports have been very occupied with trying to deal with Brewmaster, trying to deal with the Batrider that
Fear walks into a couple heroes in the jungle here. Fenrir going to get off the Impale here. Super Mages look to run, as there is still a Brewmaster split available. Fear going to go with the Mana Void. Doesn't get the kill into Fenrir with that. It's going to be Sumail left to find the kill, and Universe now just enough mana for the lasso. Brings in Super, the Mystic Flare as well. That's going to be enough to kill off Viper, and possibly a second kill here. They get the Cyclone off on your Rubik. They've got a Boulder Toss soon. Black going to shop with a Stone Gaze available, and may just need to pop this defensively if EG give chase, which they're going to quickly realize is probably not the best idea.
Can they get the Earth Panda?
Fast Lifter of Steel, FY. Gets the Brewmaster split. He's going to look to throw this with the egg there to keep Sumail in place. Sumail tries to get the egg, will not get a chance to do so. Great play there, and now they're looking to chase. Have they got the Cyclone? No, he doesn't get it in time. Oh, FY, you've got to channel your inner Brewmaster player sometimes. He gets a big steal there, though, on the Primal Split.
That was a very bold play by Brewmaster. He could have just ran away with his Earth Panda and tried to blink out, but instead trying to, I guess, clap and reinitiate on them. I don't know if he thought his team was a little bit closer, but clearly they were not on the same page there.
Well, it's still looking pretty good for EG. Fear picks up his Yasha now. Will continue to farm up his own jungle. Is farming near an enemy ward here, so Vici Gaming at least know where he is if they want to go gank him or if they want to take a fight somewhere else on the map.
And I think that EG can actually take Roche pretty darn soon. Batrider has just been massacring them left and right, getting really important kills too. It's not always kills on supports. He got a kill on Ice in mid, but the first one with the Medusa, Viper on bottom, and Viper on top. Like, he is... His lassos are so important this game. Looking for another kill. He might get Super here. He's walking in range of the Radiant Ward.
Well, it doesn't look like Super's going to get caught out by that one. We'll get back to safety here. Walking back towards that bottom tier 1 tower, and they will see him again soon, so Universe may be deterred because his Firefly is on cooldown, and it looks like Super is actually going to be playing it safe. That ward, such a common spot that Vici Gaming going to have to at least be somewhat expecting it and maybe playing around it. They are going to smoke towards bottom, possibly using Super as bait. They walk past knowing that there's no heroes around this ward for now, but here comes AUI 2000, going to walk right into FY, who is Invis. The smoke going to pop, and easy kill on your Skywrath Mage. Looks like EG are going to immediately not try and back him up and just get back to safety.
Yeah, ideally, they kill Batrider there to get a streak, and he's a couple of levels higher. Some much-needed experience for their supports. Also, Phoenix did end up going for a Midas post-Tranks, which... it's a little bit debatable whether or not they have good enough high ground defense. I mean, I guess Phoenix's items don't really matter at this point because he can't really get a mech. I guess that's the main alternative that you would see to a Phoenix Midas at this point in the game. So what other options are there? I guess you could rush a Shivas or something like that. I think just getting a Midas and getting some better items for later is an okay choice.
It seems a hero which benefits more from the levels than having an item. You have even just his leveling up his Sunray, his dive gives damage output. He's actually gone just for the 1 point in the dive, but most importantly the Supernova, which takes a lot more extra right clicks to bring down at level 2, and more importantly level 3, which getting level 16 on a Phoenix as fast as possible at this stage of the game may be one of Vici Gaming's kind of priorities, because they want to take this late game with the Medusa.
He could also get an Axe later to help with the Medusa.
Yep.
So to give her 2 mana pools, and if she has an Aegis, that's pretty much like 3 lives. I mean, of course we're talking about like way down the line, but we are talking about an anti-mage versus a Medusa game. So
do you see this game ending around like that 35-ish minute mark if EG can get themselves an Aegis and try and push, or with the Brewmaster split, the Batrider pickoff? Do they have a way? Do you think that's possible?
They definitely do. It's definitely possible. Like the Batrider lasso into a Fissure block, that initiation is extremely difficult to deal with for Vici, and especially if they can, like, if the Phoenix goes into counter initiate and they isolate the Phoenix and can kill the egg.
Oh, Universe has caught out FY in the mid lane here. The Sunray going to heal up FY, but that's not going to do enough. Echo Slam even gets used. Well, I mean, EG kind of showing what kind of game they want to play. Find a pick-off and then just farm, farm, farm. They actually seem to want to take it late game if they're making plays like that. And it's a pick-off on just a support hero, which they commit multiple ultimates for.
Their teamwork is really, really good. Like, every time Batrider has an issue, there's always great follow-up. They coordinate the Mystic Flare and Lasso always pretty well. I guess it's not the hardest thing to coordinate, but against a team like Vici, where every pick matters a lot, and they're going to be expecting ganks too, with Rubik and Lion kind of babysitting the potential targets, it's very impressive. And Batrider has been 5-0-5, involved in 10 out of the 11 kills for EG.
Alright, well, we'll see what the two teams' next play is. No team really eyeing off Roshan just yet. There's PPD, Soul Ring, and Tranquil Boots. He's level 9, and he's been involved in 7 of the 11 kills. Has had a lot of impact as well himself. Seems for EG, that's the other thing here. Anti-Mage's one of those kind of carries in the late game where you don't want to go too late with an Anti-Mage. He's a somewhat slot-dependent hero. You've got to have the Battle Fury in your inventory, and does somewhat find himself limited. You can't have like all of the Butterfly, the Heart of Taras, the Abyssal Blade, a BKB. You have to kind of pick which of these big tier 4 items you get with the Battle Fury Manta style, kind of your essential core items.
Yeah.
Oh, another lasso comes out. Can they blow up Ice 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 in time? He's going to get silenced and torn to shreds here. The Brewmaster split is used. Ice 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 is going to buy back, try and take this fight around. The super tankiness in the front lines here. They want to maybe try and get the Brewmaster post split here. Can they get a steal on this one, or can they actually even keep up with him? Fenrir's chasing, but should be able to get the blink out here. Flame Break comes at a decent time. Sumail does not get off the blink. The Supernova now comes out as well. FY stolen the primal split again. Sumail in trouble, going to get lifted back up. The Supernova coming in. There's your Impale, and Sumail goes down. Meanwhile, the Anti-Mage did finish off your Roshan, but Sumail just not quick enough on that blink out after split. Is that something like actually tricky to do, or should he? Is Vici Gaming just going to outplaying him there?
It's difficult. Phoenix, I think he used dive like right as he was leaving.
As he comes out, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll see Ice Ice do that a fair amount. I've seen him do it a lot with Elder Titan in particular. I think one of the better heroes at preventing that instant blink. You just dump the spirit right on top of the earth and he can't blink out. I've also seen him do it with Timbersaw with Chakram, so he is very experienced at preventing that get out of jail free card for Brewmaster. At the same time, it did cost them a lot. They almost lost a T1 in mid. I think they're still going to lose a T1 in mid. Fear ended up getting the Aegis, and on top of that, Ice Ice had a buyback, which is not the worst thing in the world for him since he had a Midas. But these things, they aren't able to counter-initiate the Bat Rider at all.
Yeah, the Bat is just crushing them right now. So we'll see. Right now, the fact that Universe has had such a good start to this game has been completely left uncontested is really causing them a lot of issues.
It looks like Sumail is going for BKB post-Ags, which I think is a completely justified choice.
Yeah.
I like this pickup a lot. I actually think it would have been much safer for him to go blink BKB, but it would have been more difficult for their late game.
I'm even seeing the last few times coming out of the split, if he can just pop his BKB, even if the split gets stolen, at least he can save his life. He can get out of there without giving up a kill for the second time in a row after a primal split.
They have like no damage on BKB. Because Medusa doesn't have that much right clicks.
Oh, another big lasso coming out. This time it's on Black. Can they actually kill him off here? The Stone Gate's going to come in a second if Black has mana for it, which he does not. Another split being used to great effect here. Supernova going to stun up most of the EG team now, catching up Fear as well on the high ground. Universo possibly in for his first death here. Nice primal blitz. This one's coming out from FY's Rubik. They're going to get the kill on the Barra. That's a big streak being ended. Ice goes down to the mana void of Fear. And FY with his Brewmaster splits on the run may just look to throw some Cyclones and Boulder Tosses and get the hell out of there.
You talked about that 35-minute timing that EG might hit, that they can break high ground, and I think it's going to be even earlier than that. I think they go high ground right now.
They've still got the Aegis, and Vici Gaming just don't seem to have the answers here. Still no answer for the Bat Rider initiation. FY has going for the 4 stuff on the Rubik. It really feels like he needs like an instant blink lift if you want to try and catch up the Bat Rider. Even that is hard against the Bat Rider with a 4 stuff, but it's looking really good for EG. They get the tier 2 tower mid, and the pressure just going to continue. Fear is out of control. 19,000 net worth quickly approaching. He's got another tier 4 item coming up fast.
And they have 2 more minutes on the Aegis. And even if they do get that counter initiate, I don't actually think it matters that much. Like, if he blinks, lassos, and forces, that's enough. Then Aoi sets up with a Mystic Flare, and then they cover it with a Fissure, and that hero is dead. And it doesn't matter if it's the very squishy Rubik or Lion, or if it's the supposedly super tanky Medusa. And
Oh, Super gonna get jumped on his tower. Ancient Seal's completely out of mana now. And in comes Universe again. This time he does get Hex. The Mana Void doing a lot of damage though. Black's in trouble on the Medusa, but the Sun Ray from Ice Ice keeping everyone fairly healthy. In goes Fear again. Stolen lasso from FY. Fear getting low. He has got an Aegis though, so even if they kill him, he may still be able to come back into this fight. Great vision from PPD from the sides. They'll break the Aegis, but Vici Gaming also low in HP. Sumail in the middle thinks Echo Slam from PPD. Gets one more. Back goes in Fear. Brings down the brings down the line next onto the Phoenix, and the Brewmaster, the casualty on the EG side, but it's a team wipe from Evil Geniuses. PPD the entire fight just lurking in the trees, getting off numerous fissures, and EG using this Aegis to great effect.
Medusa didn't actually have Mana Shield on at the start of that fight.
Oh,
I'm not actually sure why. I mean, theoretically, I guess you might want to use it versus Anti-Mage at the start of the fight, but never mind. That's just not even a viable option for them at this point. It wouldn't have mattered. The Mana Void actually did a ton of damage. I think it hit 3 heroes for like 500 plus damage. And yeah, Fear is way too big. He has a heart at this point. How do they kill an Anti-Mage with a heart? They have a lot of magic damage. Like even a hero like Viper does a lot of magic damage.
This 4th pick Anti-Mage just seems to be a hero Vici Gaming do not have an answer for. And something EG have not been running. They were not expecting Fear to be playing this kind of a carry hero in this game. Ice is going to look to go in for one last round. PPD does go down to the Phoenix damage here. Fear needs to get out of the base here. Has got a blink available, but with the Heart of Taras, he's actually unkillable. The Supernova comes out. Brewmaster Primal Split cannot deal with that one. Fear, I think, going to take the racks and blink the hell out of there while the Primal Split kind of creates some space, zones people away. Sumail needs an exit strategy, and right now it looks like it may just be his Brewmaster going down unless he can find. And the blink out. Ice dive is ready, and he's going to look to time that on top of Sumail. Gets the blink out though. And Sumail gets back to safety this time. Quick on the finger.
They can also time it like an Impale. Like if you time an Impale spike right on top of them as the Earth Panda ends, you also, that's unavoidable.
Very difficult to time those spells though, because you don't know exactly when the split is going to be ending too well. Universo going to catch FY near the Roshan pit. That's a freebie.
Well, the high ground hold is not impressive for Vici. They do not defend high ground, they do not end up killing Fear, and they lose racks, and they don't actually get that much to ask for. This is very close to being a lead that can't be came back from. This is too much damage caused by EG.
You're just going to flash forward to the next Roshan and Aegis. Fear's going to have a Butterfly or another big item. They'll get an Aegis.
Well, EG still have to end the game early. Like, if they let Anti-Mage get 6-slotted too early, which is actually a mild concern here, but I think they're definitely experienced enough to know that they just end the game with the next Aegis. There's no reason not to. And Medusa is still really weak. She went for the point booster first into a Manta style, but Manta doesn't actually do that much versus a cleaving Anti-Mage. So maybe not the best item choice for him. I think a lot of Medusa is like a very early Butterfly versus an Anti-Mage, since you can dodge a lot of the mana break attacks from the illusions, because the illusions don't get MKB.
Vici Gaming going to smoke up. They're running directly towards Fear. Can they actually catch him out in time? Yes, they get the Blink Hex, but there's PPD with the Fissure. Blink, Echo Sign, Fenrir now going to go down. Fear still almost full HP. They'll lose Fenrir as well as the Ice Phoenix, only catching up PPD's Earthshaker, who was kind of the new target after Fear got out. FY on the side here. Going to get a stolen Mage Blink to help him escape, but Super not going to be so lucky. Lasso out of Universe, and that's a 3-hero swing, as EG only lose PPD to get those kills, and, well, high ground we go. Fear going to look to take that one. Black wasn't even at the fight. He's counter pushing the top lane, but at this point looking like EG going to get a second lane of racks.
They almost have no damage on the Anti-Mage. I still don't know who's going to do it. Like, Medusa hits for 170 without split shot.
FY, please. Not the play to make there. He wanted to cancel a TP, but it's him getting cancelled out of this game. Super now going to get zone back as well. A bit tankier on the Viper. Unlikely to see him go down, but Anti-Mage may just blink to the high ground here. He's very tanky and up to 6k gold here. Fenrir going to deal with the Mantra Illusions with a Mana Drain Hex, but this is a big cause for concern as Fear going to go shopping.
That's a Scotty up on Medusa, but I actually don't think you build tanky this game, just because of the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is going, what, Rapier? Abyssal, most likely.
Please, Rapier's going to be the one way EG could throw this game, perhaps.
I honestly don't think he'll die even with a Rapier.
I don't think so either, but I don't think PPD as captain would be too happy about a Rapier pickup here.
Yeah, I think it's just end the game with the Abyssal. He's semi-6-slotted right now. Vlad's easily replaceable with a Butterfly if they want to go that route, but I mean, Medusa just built super tank. 2100 HP, 1500 mana. A great tank in any other game except versus an Anti-Mage.
Well, right now options somewhat limited for Vici Gaming. They've only lost the one lane of racks is the good news, but next Roshan is coming up relatively soon, and that's when EG will look to probably strike and go for another lane to secure this Game 2 victory. Put them up 2-0 in the Grand Finals. That is a surprising outcome considering Vici Gaming and how they were favorites coming in.
Yeah, this is a pretty bad outdraft by EG, I would say. We haven't seen first pick Medusas punished too often, but a well-executed draft and a well-constructed draft at that can easily deal with the Medusa. I mean, there's only like one kind of like Dusa counter, I would say, in the anti-mage, and that is enough to deal with the Medusa.
So they get the Abyssal Blade on Fear. He opens up his slot by selling his Vlads, probably for the Aegis, as the Vlads actually gets picked up by the Brewmaster now, and looks like EG smoking up, going to head towards the Roshan pit, which hasn't respawned just yet. A pretty long respawn, and not something they'll be able to take immediately, but do Vici Gaming have to contest this? Is it just GG if EG get the Aegis, or...?
I think it's GG either way. I don't think they can contest Roche. They're fighting into Brew ult. I mean, forget about the anti-mage. Just like Bat Rider and Lasso into Mystic Flare, that's one hero dead. Brewmaster ult that they can't deal with. Also, this is a Vlad's and an Ag's Brewmaster, so he hits really hard. And on top of that, they got 3-man Echo last fight. So anti-mage didn't actually do that much damage last fight, and he was just there for the front line, the meat shield. He has so much effective HP right now. He has like 3,000 HP, I'm sorry, with Strength Treads. And then on top of that, like max Mana Shield. Phoenix can't do any damage versus him. Lion can't do any damage. Rubik can't do any damage. Viper can just get Cycloned. He also went for a tanky build with Mech and BKB, and just they simply don't have enough damage to deal with them. Like, if Anti-Mage didn't have Blink, I don't think he would die.
Well, that's a cause for concern.
That is
the
a
fun.
very large cause for
The fun
concern.
for Vici Gaming has ended, as they're going to smoke up, head towards the Roshan pit. Roshan dropping very, very quickly, and that means they may find themselves in a fight against the Aegis if they're not careful. Clap from Roshan going to slow things down here. Everyone gets the blink lift. They want to try and bring down Universe. The Impale, but not even going to hit. Universe BKBs gets the high ground. He's not even dead. Fenrir goes down early. FY on the low ground inside the Radiant jungle will be kept alive for the time being. The Lasso comes out onto Super, looking to pull him on the cliff. He's now trapped. He gets Flame Break down though. Ice with the dive. He's already used the Supernova. Can he find a way out of this one? Brewmaster Split just keeping the control. PPD, Blink Echo Slam. Mana Void will slam down Black, and he gets put in his place as Vici Gaming full on retreat. The TP out from FY going to be successful. But Fia says, well, you guys are kind of screwed here. I'm just going to take your mid-racks. We've got creeps in the bottom lane, 1-for-3 trade, and Vici Gaming with all their big ultis on cooldown.
It was a smart move by Fear too. He like immediately stopped the Roche. Look how tempting that Roshan is. It's at like 2,500 HP. That's so easy for him to kill. Just get the Aegis, but he knows all they need to do is just win the fight. They all in on the Bat Rider before. Well played by EG. I would say Universe clearly MVP in this game. The Bat Rider just destroyed them first 25 minutes. They had no solution to him at all. He got a pick with every single lasso, and he had one of the fastest blink daggers in this tournament.